Hello, Grace Baptist Church. I trust that you're doing well. And I want to share another devotion with you from the Word of God, Psalm 131. It's a great psalm. It's short. It's 3 verses, but it has a wonderful theme. And the theme is humility. And how important is that in the Christian life that we have this humility in our lives. It's a simple word. It's easy to say. But I suppose that most of you would agree that only the grace of God is going to bring this about in the heart of a believer. Because not only is that word humility easy to say, then there's that word pride. It's a grievous monster. And we know all too well about what pride is. So I'd like us to join with the psalmist David here. Psalm 131:1, Lord, my heart is not haughty, nor mine eyes lofty. Neither do I exercise myself in great matters or in things too high for me. Now, if you listen to what I just read, you'd have to say, wow, David, that is quite the thing to say. And it is. Lord, my heart is not haughty, neither mine eyes lofty. Neither do I exercise myself in things that are too high for me. Now, that statement is either astonishingly true or David is deceived. And I'm not here to suppose that he was deceived. But, you know, that's quite a statement to make. But if you really consider it, if you think about this, if you meditate upon this, the fact that David is saying, I'm not haughty and I'm not proud, at least in this instant of going to the Lord, why does he use those words? Because he recognizes he has a problem with pride. It's a prayer that he had to pray, and it was something he had to address. You know, I like the statement, and I think it's important. Humility is a difficult flower to grow even in the garden of grace. That's quite a statement. Humility is a difficult flower to grow even in the garden of grace. Now, why? It's because of our own sinful nature. And I do believe that David's prayer was sincere. But why those words? He prayed these, and they're almost confessional. He's praying this way, and because he at times struggles with what pride is. Verse 2. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child. Oh, these words are something else. David here has grown in grace, and he was able to quiet himself. Boy, that's a wonderful gift to have from God. Now, what is this language he uses? He says, I'm able to quiet myself as a weaned child. When a child is first weaned from their mother, it can be a troubling time, and there's a discontent. And they've always had their mother to calm them. They've always had their mother to comfort them. And often when a child was in great distress, the mother, through nursing, was able to calm the child. But the weaned child has to come to the place where they learn to quiet themselves, even though they're little, to calm themselves. This language that the psalmist used is very important. This beautiful picture that we can see coming in view. And I think if in just a couple of minutes we'll see that come into full view. What David is saying is, my soul is being weaned here. I'm growing in the Lord. I've come to the place of trust, right? Of trust in the Lord. Why would a child of God be able to calm themselves? Why would a child of God, or how would a child of God not allow the news around them to get them into such a frenzy that they're just full of anxiety? It's because they've come to know everything's all right in my Father's house. God is in control. God is sovereign. God is provident. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I have nothing to worry about. That ability to quiet oneself. How? Through the Word of God, the promises of God, the grace of God, is a wonderful place to be. And what is it? It's a place of maturity. It's the opposite of the child who needs nursing. It's the weaned child, one who can quiet themselves. It's being able to lean upon God, to lean upon the promises of God. You see, our place is not to figure things out. It's to trust the Lord. The psalmist said, I don't involve myself in matters too great for me. There's a lot of questions. And folks, there's questions that we'll never get an answer to. But we need to trust the fact that God knows the answer. God's got the answer. In fact, God is the answer. And it's through this that we are able to quiet ourselves by trusting in the Lord. And this is something that we can rely upon, and that something is the Lord himself. It's not our self-sufficiency. It's not our self-will. It's not our intellect. This is not where the answers are going to come from, but to be quiet, to trust, to love the Lord with all of our heart, to be able to be quiet in these moments. The child who is struggling with being weaned will wail, they'll howl, they'll cry, they'll sorrow. They're not wanting this separation. They're wanting things to stay the way that they are. But what will happen in time? This little one will grow and understand that this is a part of the growth process, that his or her mother loves them and will always care for them and will find comfort in a different way. But in the beginning, he cannot possibly understand. And sometimes as a child of God, when the Lord puts us through our paces and these growing pains that we have to go through, we can't understand it all. But we want to come to the place where, like the psalmist, even though we have our problems and our pride, we can say, Lord, my heart is not haughty, nor mine eyes lofty. Neither do I exercise myself in matters or in things too high for me, things beyond me. But Lord, not beyond you. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself. As a child that is weaned of his mother, my soul is even as a weaned child. To say, Lord, I don't understand it all. Some of these things are beyond me, but I trust in you and I'm quiet. I can be still and know that you are God. Thank you, and God bless you.